Hello everyone, welcome to Aspirants World. In this video, we are going to discuss some of the questions in the syllabus of national income. Majority of the students are facing the problem while solving the question. So in this video, we are trying to help you guys out how the questions can be decoded, in which way we have to understand the questions and how we solve the paper. And along with that, the major agenda of this video is the entire repetition of the national income chapter. So without having much delay, let's start our discussion. So let's start the first question. Here the statement given was the real GDP increases with increasing the quantity of output produced in the economy. So along with the discussion of the questions, we are going to concentrate even on the explanation of the chapter a little bit. So try to focus so that you can revise your chapter one more time. So let's decode what it means. Don't get panic. First, after seeing this type of statement, first we try to decode what it mean by. So they are saying the real GDP. So first, what is mean by real GDP? Real GDP is nothing but when we calculate the quantity of output produced in the economy with the constant price or the base year price, then we call it as the real GDP. So they are saying the real GDP has increased just because of increasing of the quantity of output in the economy. So they are drawing a relationship between these two. So how we have to understand this? Suppose let's consider the real GDP is 100 rupees. If the real GDP has increased to 150 rupees, suppose, then it is just because of increasing of quantity of output produced. Because when the other factor here is constant, definitely the increasement here is due to increasing of the quantity. So the statement 1 is correct here. That means the assertion is correct. The reason, the real GDP is calculated by multiplying the quantity produced with the base year price. Whatever I have given the explanation for assertion, they have given the same reason here. So the reason is also correct and the reason is the correct explanation to assertion. So we find that in the C option. So our answer for this question is C. Next question. With respect to the expenditure method of GDP calculation, consider the following statement. They have given only those products which are made in India are counted in the consumption expenditure component of GDP. So first let's write what is the expenditure method formula. So it is a consumption expenditure plus government expenditure plus investment expenditure plus net exports, that is the exports minus imports. So they said this formula includes which are made in India are counted in the consumption expenditure component of GDP calculation. They said only those products which are made in India. So nothing like that. So this statement is wrong. The purchase of intangible capital assets will not be counted in the investment expenditure. Every component of investment expenditure can be considered. There is no such type of elimination here. So this statement is also wrong. The transfer payments are not included in the government expenditure component. So this statement is correct because we don't include the transfer payments in the government expenditure column here. So this statement is correct. They ask which is the correct statement. So these two cannot be considered, and this statement is correct. So answer is 3. That is C answer is correct here. Next. Consider the following statement. Production taxes and the production subsidies are independent of volume of production. So they have given the production taxes and the production subsidies are independent. First, I want to give a clarity. The production taxes is different and the product tax is different. Production tax is like the land tax, which can be imposed irrespective of your capacity of production. So the land tax, so that is independent of volume of production, but the product tax on the other hand is depending on the product. So they have given production tax and production subsidies are independent of volume of production. So this statement is correct. The gross value addition at basic price is the sum total of GV at factor cost and the net product taxes. So the GV at base prices is sum total of GV at factor cost and net product taxes they have given. So this statement is wrong. It is actually not the basic price. It should be a market price here. So the statement is wrong. While production taxes are applicable at the point of production, product taxes are applicable at the point of consumption. This is correct statement. As I said, the production tax is imposed at the corner of manufacturing unit, and the product tax on the other hand can be imposed at the consumption hand. So this statement is correct. So 1 and 3 statement are correct. So answer here is C. The total market value of all finished goods and services produced within a country in a set time period is known as. So this is straight away the definition of gross domestic product. So this is straight away question. So the gross domestic product is answer. Which of the following are the components used to derive personal income? So the personal income can be derived from the national income if we deduct the undistributed profits, the net interest payments by the households, the corporate tax and the transfer payments. Everything is a part of your personal income calculation. So everything is a part here. So this is all the factors of to calculate the personal income. Consider the following statement regarding the nominal GDP. So already we have seen the real GDP. Now the nominal GDP is, it's a nothing but the nominal GDP calculation is, it's the quantity of the products produced into the current prices. So let's see what it is saying. The nominal GDP is calculated with the goods and services are evaluated at some constant set of prices. So it is wrong because it is current set of prices, the current year prices, not the constant year prices. And the base year is the year whose prices are being used to calculate the nominal GDP. This is also wrong because it's not base year, it's a current year. So both the statements are wrong. So answer goes here as neither one nor two. Consider the following statement regarding to GDP. If the GDP of the country is rising, the welfare will rise as a consequence. So it may not be always a probability. At times when the GDP is growing so high also, the nation suffers from the poverty. So the GDP reflects only the growth, but the development, the welfare is all about the development. So the growth may not lead to the development all the time, so it may not be always correct. So the statement is wrong here. Many activities in an economy are not evaluated in monetary terms. Of course, especially the household works performed by the woman, it cannot be calculated in the form of monetary terms. Hence they are not included in the calculation of GDP. So this is also one of the drawback of Indian calculation of GDP. So this statement is correct. So not evaluated in the monetary terms. So this is correct. So they ask which of the following statement are correct. So only second statement is correct. B is answer. When depreciation is deducted from GNP, the net value is. So we have seen this as a direct formula in our classes. That is the NNP equal GNP minus depreciation. So this is the formula for the new subscribers here also. So this is the formula, please note it down. The NNP equal GNP minus depreciation. So they have asked if we deduct depreciation from GNP, we get the net national product. So the answer is A. Consider the following statement. Agriculture, including allied activities, accounted for about 55% of employment in the country according to the 2011 census. So this is the static statement and this is correct. The growth in agriculture and allied sector is the necessary condition for inclusive growth in India. So this is also correct. What is mean by inclusive growth? When we make everyone to be a part of development or the part of the growth factor, then we call it as the inclusive growth. So when we develop the agriculture and allied sector, automatically we make the rural economy to be grown up, which make every individual to be a part of this growth rate, which is famously known as inclusive growth. So the growth in agriculture and allied sector is the necessary condition for inclusive growth in India. Both the statements are correct here. They have asked which are correct. So both 1 and 2 are correct. For a closed economy, with no foreign trader. Which one of the following is correct? So they have given here the relation between GDP and GNP. First, let's write the formula. What is the relation factor of GDP and GNP? GNP equal GDP plus net factor income from abroad. So the net factor income from abroad. They said when the country is having a closed economy with no foreign trade, that means we don't have any income from abroad, so we substitute this as 0, then automatically our GNP is equal to GDP. So the relation when it is a closed economy without having any foreign trade, automatically the GDP becomes or the equal to GNP. So the statement A is correct here. Which of the following is the actual definition of transfer payment? So we have seen in the earlier slide also the transfer payment word. What is mean by transfer payment? So it is the amount we are receiving into your account without conducting any trade of goods and services. Normally we get the money when we go for exchange of goods and services with the others. But here you are getting the payment to your account but without trading anything of goods and services. It's like your brother staying in abroad and he transferred money to your account. It's like a transfer payment. Or the government has given some sort of pensions or the subsidies. All these are considered as the transfer payment. So the transfer payment is refers to the payment made without any exchange of goods and services. So the statement is C is correct here. Which of the following is not a part of the national income? So they said not a part. So let's see undistributed profits, income from government expenditure, the interest amount on the unproductive national debt, the payments made by a household to a firm for purchasing goods and services. So the undistributed profits is a part of national income calculation. Income from government expenditure also the part of national income, but the interest amount on the national debt, that means the borrowings on the government which it is paying on the interest amount, it is not a part of national income. And the payment made by a household to a firm for purchasing goods and services become a part of national income. They asked which is a not a part, so this component is not a part of national income, so answer is C. Which of the following is true for disposable income? So the formula says the disposable income is nothing but the personal income minus direct taxes. So the disposable income is the difference between the personal income and the direct taxes. So here the answer is D. This is the direct formula. It is a difference between personal income and direct taxes. Which of the following organization calculate the gross domestic product in India? So the organization who calculates the GDP. So this is the straight away answer, the NSO, or which is also famously known as CSO. The National Statistical Office or the Central Statistical Office is the organization who is responsible for calculation of GDP. So this is the straight away question. Answer is C. Which of the following is true for inflation? So they ask the relation of value of money in relation to inflation. So first of all, what is mean by inflation? Inflation is nothing but when there is a increasing of the price of a product, then we call it as inflation. When the prices gets rises, we call it as there is a inflation in the market. So how we come a conclusion with this regarding to value of money? So let me explain you in a different way. Suppose you have reached a market with a 100 rupee note, and earlier you can able to buy a product or the one water bottle, and now there is a inflation in the market, that means the prices has increased. Now the bottle price has reached to 200 rupees. So now you can able to purchase only half a bottle with the 100 rupee note because the price has increased to 200 rupees. That means Earlier you can able to buy a bottle, 1 liter bottle with 100 rupees worth. Now you can able to buy only half a liter water. That means your value for 100 rupee note has actually decreased, right, in the sense of purchasing power. So this is very important. The value of money has fallen down here just because the purchasing power capacity of the currency has fallen down. That means whenever there is a inflation, it reflects the value of money decreases. So your answer is B. This is very important concept, and many of the question papers in the competitive examination has touched this area in different perspectives. So remember this point. Next statement. What is the definition of a closed economy? So the closed economy is exactly what is the open economy. So the open economy is nothing but when we open our economy to be tradable with any of the nation in the international market, then we call it as open. That means we allow the trading with all the nations. The closed economy is opposite of that. The closed means when we don't have any trade with any nation, then we call it as closed economy. So let's search for that. So the closed economy is, it's not about money supply, it's about neither exports nor imports. So the statement is correct. So the answer here is B. From which sector does India receives the highest share of GDP? So we have the different sectors in the economy, like the primary sector, secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. Tertiary sector speaks about the service sector, which is having the highest share to the GDP. So the answer is right away here, that is service sector. On which basis the national income of India is calculated? So the national income of India is calculated based on the factor cost. That means how much of the cost you are incurring on the different factors of production. So we have the different factors of production, that is the land, labor, wage, and capital. So our national income is calculated based on the cost we are incurring on all these factors. So that's why it is famously known as we calculated our national income based on the factor cost. Very important. So this also have asked in the previous examination. So remember this explanation. What is or why the intermediate goods are not included in the national income? If we observe the national income definition, it is the value of final goods and services produced in the country, right? So the key word here to explain this question is the final goods and services. That means the intermediary goods are not taken into consideration. So the final goods and services only are considered in the national income calculation. Why this step has taken in the calculation of national income? So it is taken to prevent the double counting. That means if we add the intermediary goods, or if we consider the intermediary goods, there is a chance of duplication of numbers. Suppose already if I have purchased the raw material, or maybe I consider the raw material as a cotton, and I brought this cotton, and I have used this cotton as a raw material in my industry, and I have made fiber out of that. And already in my industry final output, or whatever the output I got, and I have included already this raw material cost in my industry pricing, right? So if government keep on adding only the final goods without deducting the intermediary utilization in between, then it reflects the double price here. Suppose already I have brought the 100 rupees of cotton here, and I have spent 100 rupees here, so definitely in my pricing of the product I include the raw material cost, and I have added 200 more worth of value to that product while turning it into a fiber. So my industry worth is 300 rupees. suppose if the government keep on adding the final product without deducting the intermediary consumption, then it reflects the double price, right? So already 100 rupees was included here. So it deduct this intermediary goods here. That means the government takes only the value addition of my industry into consideration. So the final value of the output can be calculated with the formula of value of output minus the intermediary consumption. So in the calculation of national income, they deduct the intermediary consumption or the intermediary goods utilization. That means they don't consider the intermediary goods here just to prevent the double counting. So I hope you have understood the concept. So this is very, very important. The intermediary goods cannot be taken into consideration while calculating national income. In the context of Indian economy, consider the following statement. Currently, India is the third largest economy in the world in terms of dollar exchange rate. So this is wrong. Now we are not third largest, we are in fact the fifth largest. India's GDP at current prices increased consistently in the last decade. So they said consistent increasement. So this is wrong because in the COVID-19 time period, our economy has actually fallen down in the period of 2020-21 financial year. So this statement is also wrong. They asked which are correct, so neither are correct. Our answer is D. So in this video we have discussed a few questions on the national income chapter. So if you want this type of further continuation of the questions on the different topics, we continue this series further. Please let me know in your comment section whether you want this type of further videos or not. And I hope you got a little bit of idea how you have to solve the national income question. And I help you guys even to revise your chapter one more time. Hope you guys have liked the video. Thank you very much. See you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Before leaving, please share, comment and like our videos. Subscribe our channel for further notification. Thank you so much.